Is there going to be a test question where you have to do everything? No. There's not going to be a test question where you have to do everything. Then why do I show you on this problem how to do everything? So you'll know how to do everything. Okay, I'm not going to do one problem and just find the mean and the range, and then do another problem and find the median and the standard deviation. I'm just going to do problems, and I'm going to show you how to do everything. So go ahead and copy this down, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and I want you to find everything you can find. If you can't, then don't worry about it. I'm going to give everybody 2 minutes. And starting now. And we may have to cut class
Facebook comment
early because my sister texted me and said that she needs me to come down there before class, before 10 o'clock. So I'm going to cut class around 9:50. My brother-in-law twisted or sprained or broke his ankle, and I got to go down there and help him get in the truck. I guess I'm being neighborly and brotherly. I need a dinky button.
Priority 1 message coming in on secure.
That's probably Okay. I guess y'all can y'all hear me? I mean, I hear no interaction whatsoever. I mean, okay, Miss Gill, you can hear me. I can always trust Miss Gill. She'll always interact with me. She ain't winged on a pickle. All right, so mean. Here we go. We're going to sum up all the numbers, and we're going to divide by 12. Now we do notice that n is equal to, hold on a second, I didn't hit the right button. I suck. We do see that n is equal to 12, and the other day we did 13, I believe. So this one is even. So the median, we're going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these two right here are going to be averaged together to equal the median. So parentheses 27 plus 26, close parentheses, divided by 2. And that is your median. And of course, this one's green because it should be close to the other green ones, which is that one and mid-range. Which one shows up the most?
22.
22, thank you. And the range is equal to the highest minus the what?
Lowest.
Lowest. Mid-range is equal to parentheses the highest plus the lowest, or the lowest plus the highest, it doesn't matter because it's addition, divided by 2. Variance, well, let's write down our formula for the variance so everybody can remember to read the formula. Variance is equal to the summation of x minus x bar quantity squared over n minus 1. And of course, the standard deviation is equal to the square root of the variance, or the variance raised to the 0.5 power, or 1/2 power. All right. So I'm going to leave that on there for a couple of seconds because I know you haven't memorized it, and I know you don't have it, handy, so go ahead and write it in your notes. And we will go back to the spreadsheet and do that. So we need x minus x bar. So there's x, so this column is going to be called x minus x bar. And I'm going to take 21, and I'm going to subtract that number right there and copy it down. So if you are writing this in your notebook, and you haven't done this column, I would just write down the first number, the middle numbers, 2 middle numbers right there, and the last number, and then put dots. You can fill them in later. Save a little bit of time. And this is going to be called x minus x bar, quantity squared. I'm going to take that column and I'm going to square every number. So that number, quantity squared, and I'm going to copy that down. And again, to save time, if you haven't done this, I would do the first number, the middle 2 numbers, and the last number, and then fill the rest of it in later. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, I'll go back to my handy dandy formula. And I have just done, in the second column, I did this. And the third column, I did this. I raised it to the second power. And what am I going to do on the third column?
Find the sum.
What's the only thing left in the numerator? What's the only thing left that I hadn't highlighted?
The sum.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
The sum.
The sum. Thank you. You're going to add them all up. So go ahead and add them all up. And that's going to be right here. And I'm going to hit the summation button, which is sigma, capital sigma. And that is my numerator. So now I'm going to go to the handy dandy, and I'm going to move this down a little bit. Give me a second. Move this over. Now, the reason I'm being very careful in showing you this, I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but I do know that there are, out of every, let's say there's 12 people, there's 14 people in this class right now. I guarantee you that there's 3 or 4 of y'all that's never seen this before, okay? And I'm going kind of slow with this because I know those 4 people need the help, okay? Remember, I teach to students that don't know the material. I don't teach to students that invented mathematics, okay? I teach to those that did not invent mathematics. So equals, that's the numerator, 192.667. And I'm going to divide by 12 minus 1. Now I'm going to put the 12 in there because I had a student in another class. I told you they would ask me this, okay? I went through and I put 11, and they said, where'd you get the 11 from? You got to read the what? You got to read the formula. N minus 1. There's N right there. There's N. Okay. Question on that? All right, so I'm going to do that over here. Equals this number divided by, and 12 minus 1 is 11. And it should be your variance. Y'all check my numbers. And then I'm going to raise that to the 0.5 power or the 1/2 power, or I'm going to take the square root. Whichever one you want to do, it's the same number. And that's 0.6. 0.6 raised to the second power. I'm sorry, to the 0.5 power. I suck. There we go. All right, y'all check my work. See if your numbers are the same as mine. I highlight that one a different color. I usually pick aqua color. So look at our 3 numbers in green. They're all close. 27, 27, 27. So that means that this data is pretty valid. There's not a lot of unusual numbers or outlier numbers. Like changes 33 to a 52. Then you start seeing crazy numbers. See, they don't match. You'd be surprised at how many people sit through a year of probability and statistics and they didn't even know this. If you throw an outlier or an unusual number in there, it's going to throw those numbers off. That's what statistics will tell you. So if you do a survey of how old you are or whatever, and find out what the average age of students at the Anderson campus is, you go down through here and you put the numbers together, and these numbers are not in range of each other, then you know that there's a lot of numbers in your data that are either unusual or outliers. And this spread will be lower the closer these numbers are. Again, you put the 52 in there, watch the standard deviation, jumps up to an 8. You put a 66 in there, jumps up to a 12. You put a 32 in there, drops down. Put a 33 back in there, and I just messed up. Hold on. Damn it. Sorry. Let me just do that. There we go. All right. So what next? 5-number summary. Well, the min, that's pretty simple. If you miss the min and the max on the 5-number summary, please don't tell anybody. Why? Because all you got to do is copy it. I mean, if you can't, don't tell anybody if you miss that. Yeah, I got that right. Please don't tell anybody you missed the min and the max. And we'll color that one orange. So that one's orange, and that one's a gray. So with the min and the max, oh gosh, I don't know what I drank this morning. There. All right, there's the min, there's the max. This one you don't have to do either. You just copy whatever's right there, and that's the second quartile. So all you got to do now is just find the first quartile and the third quartile. So here is 26.5. It's right here. Now this is important. 26.5 is right there where my cursor is. How many numbers are above my cursor? Somebody count for me. How many?
6.
Is 6 odd or even?
Even.
So you got to pick the middle two, and you got to average them together. So there's blue, and that's going to be blue right there. So I got to average those two together, parentheses, 22 plus 23 divided by 2, and that is your first quartile. Now remember, when we did odds, you might have to just go in there and find the middle term. It depends on how many numbers you have above the cursor. The cursor is representing the second quartile, 26.5. You can't say, oh, the middle number is 26 and then count above it. You can't do that. When you have n is equal to an even number, and you're finding the first or the third quartile, you have to put the cursor right here in the middle and count the numbers above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that way you won't count 5, because if you count 5, then it's wrong. Then you're going to be wrong. So these two, we'll color them rouge. Je m'appelle Hubert. Parlez-vous français? Rouge. Y'all are impressed, aren't you? All right, so parentheses. I hate it that y'all have other classes that y'all do this to. You don't hate y'all as other teachers as much as y'all hate me. Is that what it is? Y'all just hate your teachers?
No, sir. No, sir.
Huh?
No, I don't hate all the teachers.
You just don't want to talk. Is that it?
No.
I guarantee if I started talking about something y'all are interested in, I guarantee you talk my ears off. But I don't want to do that because I guarantee you, as Cupcake and as Buttercup and as Snowflake as we are in today's time, no matter what I talk about, it's going to offend some damn body. So we can't talk about other than math. We got to be quiet. We can't talk too much. I'm anti Buttercup if you haven't gotten that yet. You know why we have so many Buttercups / Snowflakes? You know why we have so many? Because people have lost their sense of what? Humor. People have lost their sense of humor. There is no sense of humor anymore. People don't laugh. People don't joke. It's all everybody, as Heath Ledger, the best joker, says, why so serious? Everybody's so daggum serious.
I thought you would the Russians.
I'm sorry, speak up, Mr. Chapman. What?
I said I thought you would blame the Russians.
They are. Well, actually, you know what I blame for everybody being so serious and everybody having no personality and no sense of humor? Cell phones. Cell phones. Used to be when y'all come into a class, 20 years ago, when y'all come into a class, y'all know what y'all would do? Y'all would talk to each other. What'd you do this weekend? What'd y'all do this weekend? Oh, you live in so-and-so, so-and-so. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, see, now you don't do that. And see, that develops into reclusion. And I don't know what you call it, introvertness. I don't know what introversion, I guess you'd call it. In other words, all to yourself. And that hurts the personality / sense of humor. And everybody is pretty much stoic. And you make a joke, everybody takes it personal. That's what's happened. And it's all because of the Russians. The Russians, they probably invented the cell phone. All right. Now what? Now we're going to our handy dandy copied paper. Now I know none of y'all did that. I don't know if I showed y'all. Did I show y'all how to copy this over? And I ran some more copies this morning. Did I show y'all this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I thought I did. Now you can't ask that, Mr. Gill. You're taking my 103, so you might have seen it in the 103 class.
Well, it's in my notebook.
Huh?
It's in my notebook for the 103. I have separate notebooks.
Oh my gosh, you actually have separate notebooks for separate. Oh wow, that's a concept. Okay, so I know that none of y'all did this. Probably 2 of you did. So here is I take this out after I finish the problem. I put it over here and I say, okay, what does all this mean? Well, first of all, I put my mean in the middle. And I don't know why this, I've tried to get it as focused as I can. Let me see if I can focus it a little bit more. It's not cooperating. That's about the best I'm gonna get it. Make it bigger. Let's see, let's write down mean is equal to, now I'm going to round just because for instructional purposes, you do not round when you're putting on here. So if you take your calculator and you take 22.66667 and you add the decimals, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to sit here and try to do all that decimal math while trying to show you where to put everything. And I'm going to round the standard deviation to 4. So here I put 27. And what do you do on the right side of the number line? Do you add or subtract?
Add.
You add. So that's going to be 31, 35, 39. And what do we do on the left side of the number line? The opposite of
Subtract.
bad. Subtract. Thank you. 27 minus 4 is 23. 23 minus 4 is 19. 19 minus 4 is 15. And now we apply the empirical rule, and that means that 2 standard deviations is normal. And the empirical rule is on page 132, and we went over it. I think we went over it. Somebody tell me, I think we went over it. Ms. Gill, did we go over that in your notebook?
The empirical rule.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. We have normal, curve, imperial, whatever you call it.
Okay, good.
It's
Oh, it's
percentages.
nice having somebody that actually writes stuff down. All right, normal. And that is the 95th percentile. And then take your yellow marker and highlight the unusual. Now, on a test, they may ask you to find what's unusual. And then you would say from 15 to 19 and 35 to 39. And then a standardized test may ask you to do this math and say, what is the mean and standard deviation? And then it'll say, what age represents outliers? And then you would write down ages below 15 and above 39. So those are the type questions you might be asked. Okay? So that's how you apply the empirical rule to your data. In other words, the question will ask, if a 23-year-old comes into the class, is that unusual? And you would say no, because it lies where? It lies in the normal population. Okay? So that's when you do the, that's how you do the curve. Now what? Now let's go to do the box plot. I'm just going to do the box plot below right here. And I'm going to need the following information. I'm going to need the mean. Mean is equal to 21. The first quartile is 22.5. I'm just going to do 23 if you don't mind. The second quartile is 27. The third quartile is 31. And the max is 33. Now again, for this presentation right here, I'm rounding my numbers. You do not do that in the question. You would actually take your calculator and do whatever with the decimals, okay? But right now, I'm going to take my handy dandy ruler and I'm going to make a straight line. And the mean goes here. The max goes here. And the mid-range goes right here. And I forgot the mid-range. The mid-range is 27. Now I'm done with the max and the mean. And there's my box plot right there. But I can't put the box plot because I don't know where everything is. So I've got to find the median of the median of the median. I got to graduate my number line. So 21 to 27 is 6. Half of 6 is 3. So that's going to be 24. Add 3 here. That's going to be 30. I might do one more. So 1 to 4 is 3. Half of 3 is 1.5. So that's going to be 22.5. 1.5 is 25.5. 1.5 is 28.5, and 1.5 is 31.5. Now I'm ready. So I take my black pen and I throw it away, and I put a red pen. What does this represent? What does that dashed red line represent? The center That's right, because everything in statistics revolves around the what? The center. And now I'm going to take my, we're going to circle this one in blue. And I'm going to do 23. 23 is right about here. And you can put your box plot above the number line or below the number line or above or on the number line. You very rarely see it below, but most of the time you either see it on the number line or above the number line. And let's go with the green, and that'll be the third quartile. 31. 31 is going to be right in here. And let's go with a magenta. And that's the second quartile. It's 27. And it falls right on the center. If you get the second quartile to fall on the mid-range, chances are you've got a normal curve. And I take my black pen, and there's your box plot. And of course, you can see that it's pretty much normal. So that's how you do the 5-number summary and the box plot. Now, I don't know. Somebody tell me how many of these problems right here have we done? I think we've done 3, counting today. Somebody check me, because I think we did 2 odds and we did an even. So somebody tell me how many we've done. Maybe 2, I don't know.
I had 3 before the one that we just did today, so kind of.
Oh, so this is the 4th one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I have in my notebook.
Okay. Now, you have done 4 of these. So that means you've done 2 with 5-number summaries. Okay. So that means you've done 4 or 5 medians, means, 4 or 5 medians, 4 or 5 modes, 4 or 5 ranges, 4 or 5 mid-ranges, 4 or 5 variances, and 4 or 5 standard deviations. You've done 2 or 3 5-number summaries. So that means you've done 4 or 5 empirical, or 2 or 3 empirical rules, and you've done 2 or 3 box plots. What the heck does all that mean, Hubert? That means
You should be ready to do it.
that you have done 3.1, 3.2, and some of 3.4. Somebody look in your outline. What's next? 3.5. 3.5 and some of 3.4, I don't really know where it is, but it's about z-scores. And we're going to cover that next week. So that means your test is coming up. I see us, as a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, I see us probably reviewing around Wednesday or Friday of next week. That's not set in concrete. So some of you procrastinators and some of you hammies, don't start jumping around like a ping pong ball in a room full of mouse traps. All right, y'all just settle down, drink something or take something, and just settle down. All right, because I'm not going to do anything until I finish what? 3.5. We haven't gone over z-scores yet. So now there's 3 or 4 of y'all that need to start on your chapter 1 homework because you haven't even started on it. Okay, I know. Can you believe that? There's people in this room that hasn't started on their chapter 1 homework yet. They're waiting. They're waiting on Hubert to give them a date. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to give you a date. I'll give you a date 2 days before it's due. Okay, I know, I'm a bastard. All right, any questions? All right, then y'all need to be working on 3.1, 3.2, some of 3.4. If anything says z-scores or standard score, write down standard score, because sometimes the book will call it standard score. If it says standard score, don't do it. If it says z-score, don't do it. All right? All right. My sister's calling me, so I'm going to skedaddle. Y'all have a good day, good weekend, and get these done and send me questions. All right?
All right. You have a good weekend.
You
All
have a
right,
good weekend.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
going
you.
to cut out real quick because I got to go help her. See ya.